Happy holidays, week 15, coming down the stretch. Let's see what your team is doing. Check in with top 10. My number 10 team this week is the Cleveland Browns. Had a big win this week versus the Chicago Bears. Come from behind win. Cleveland is number 10. Number 9 this week is the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals had a nice come from behind win with Jake Browning behind the center. Jake Browning won a big game for Cincinnati. Cincinnati is number 9. My number 8 team this week is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now the Eagles are struggling. They lose 3 in a row. They still stay in my top 10. Philadelphia is number 8, but they're reeling. Jalen is being inconsistent. We were talking MVP just a couple weeks ago. He's really going downhill. They're number 8 still, Philadelphia. My number 7 team this week is the Dallas Cowboys. Now, need I say much more about the Cowboys? Last week we were talking about the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl, and they looked like a Super Bowl team. Well, now the Cowboys go to Buffalo and get demolished, physically just beat down. Dallas has to stay in my top 10. Dallas is number 7. Come on, Cowboys, get it together. My number 6 team this week is the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins beat New York Jets down. New York Jets are struggling, but Miami look good, so they stay at number 6 this week, the Miami Dolphins. My number 5 team, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions had a really nice win versus Denver. Detroit Lions are consistent. They're starting to play good football again. Detroit Lions this week is my number 5 team. My number 4 team this week is the Kansas City Chiefs. They went to New England, started off slow, and then they picked it up. KC came out of New England with the 27-17 win against the lowly, downtrodden New England Patriots. KC is my number 4 team this week. My number 3 team is the Buffalo Bills. Now, Buffalo has been down, but now Buffalo is starting to surge. Buffalo had a big win versus the Cowboys. They were physical, they were dynamic. Josh Allen is a superstar. Buffalo is my number 3 team this week. Watch Buffalo. My number 2 team in this week's top 10 is the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Baltimore has been consistent all year. They've had a hiccup here or there, but for the most part, Baltimore plays great defense, and Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. He runs around, he makes plays, he makes the throw whenever he has to, but Baltimore has been really consistent. They're my number 2 team. And my number 1 team, everybody knows who they are, the most consistent team in the league, the most dominant team, the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy has taken the lead with the controversial who's going to win the MVP. Brock Purdy is really carrying that team. San Francisco is looking like a championship team. They're my number 1 team this week on Top 10.
Hey everybody, this is Pamela Lowery, and of course we're here at our Q&A segment right here on the Top 10 with Lionel Vital. Now look, we had some great questions come in last week, but this right here just took the media by storm. Last week, Cam Newton said that Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott were some system or game managers, system players. What is a system player? What is a game manager? Because he was talking mess. He got ate up by the media. So can you expound on that for us?
Yeah, a system player or system quarterback or game manager is a guy that has to have a system. You got to have the right people around him. You have to have the right coaching staff. You got to have the right receivers, the right guys running routes. And he works around the system. He can make all the passes in that system. When he goes off that system, when he gets out of that system, then boy, he struggles. Why? Generally because they don't have the natural gifts, the arm, the athletic ability to be able to be able to throw the ball on a run. Those are all things that system guys can't do. They are going to sit in the pocket, they're going to see the field and make a play because they're systematic. Everything is around them.
Okay, so you hear, and it's been synonymous in sports, I'm a franchise player, get you a franchise player. What is a franchise player? Because you would think that Dak or Brock would be the franchise player, but are they franchise player, and what is a franchise player?
I slightly agree with Cam Newton on being a franchise player. Now that's a franchise quarterback. That's a
Okay.
whole different game. And I'm gonna break it down, and this is pretty tough, but it is what it is. You just take whatever you want from it. Let's just say the owner, the head coach, the general manager, and all the players got on a plane and they took off. But the quarterback didn't make that trip. And they got in the air and the plane went down. All right, let's look. Everybody, the whole franchise is gone. Guess what? It's not gone, because if that's a franchise quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, you can take that one guy and put him with a whole new set of people. Ownership, position players, coaches, and guess what? He's still gonna win 10, 12 games the next year. He's still gonna probably make the Pro Bowl. That team is gonna be in contention to go to the Super Bowl just 1 year later. He just lost his whole team. The most important guy in the whole building in football is a franchise quarterback. Now, everybody's not a franchise quarterback. We hear that term. There are starting quarterbacks, guys you could win with, but a franchise guy is a big-time generational guy. There's about Lamar, you could throw him in that group too. There's about 4 or 5 franchise players in the NFL, and the rest are good starting quarterbacks. Franchise guys come by once in a lifetime, once in a blue. They just don't come around too often. The John Elways of the world.
You know what? That is great feedback. And so whether you agree or disagree, send it to us. Put it in the chat. This is coming from Lionel Vitale. He's been in football for more than 35 years, a scout. So he knows the game. But again, if you think you know more or want to add to it, just put it in the chat right here on Top 10.
Hey, that's the wrap up for week 15. Whether you're a franchise player or a system player, just do what you do. But remember, everybody loves football.